It's with your host, Sean Spencer, Alex Loosemore. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, you see who I'm with. The new leader and lone number one team, Michigan Wolverines.
Yes,
guy, Mr. Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much. Excited to be locked in to the playoff. I didn't care as long as we were 1 through 4. But these playoffs are set after a phenomenal week of conference championship games. And man, January 1st cannot come soon enough.
Absolutely. Like you allude to, those games were phenomenal. We saw some upsets. We saw some things we kind of expected. And it's funny, if you go back and look at the Saturday show in the comments and with what we were saying, we kind of spilled the beans on exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yes, hey, our CFP is now set. We got some representatives who fans aren't too thrilled because their team was not.
Rightfully so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we got a representation of the conference that had to have one member in, but it may not be the member you thought it was. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to College Football Update. Myself, Sean Spencer, my guy, Alex Loosemore. Like we alluded to, there's so many games out there, so many great things happen, and we're going to dive right into it, starting with our college football storylines. Like I said, we're set, ladies and gentlemen. The Final Four is set. Michigan at 1, Washington at 2, Texas at 3, and Alabama at 4. If you have noticed, there are two teams that for the most part, most of the time that we've been talking about the CFP, Alex, we have mentioned these two teams, but they are left out. Georgia and Florida State definitely left out. I'm going to come to you first before bringing our guest. I mean, we kind of called it like this, but how surprised were you when you saw how they actually played it out?
Unfortunately, I wasn't surprised. I figured with all the SEC bias that stands with Jordan Travis being out and with Alabama taking down the number 1 team, I figured they would slide into that 4th spot. In my opinion, that is such a big mistake because why even play the games? If 13-0 doesn't mean anything, then why are we striving to get there? I'm not happy about it. And that's not me hoping that Florida State was the 4 and we'd play them. I actually had Florida State as my 3 and Texas as my 4, because 12 or 13-0 shouldn't matter. But right. It just sucks for those kids, these coaches, everyone that worked their tails off from January, February when the last season ended until now. And the thing that hurt me the most actually was Jordan Travis's comment to the whole thing. It was just like, damn, I wish I would have broke my leg earlier so that y'all could see it wasn't just me. Like that to me was just like, as a player, I felt that hurt to see. And I really feel for those guys down in Tallahassee right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I think what it does is it sheds a light on the importance of a quarterback. Because if you actually look at that team from top to bottom, I mean, you want to talk about top tier talent. You look at that
phenomenal roster.
Right. I'll put that defense up against any of the top 4, much less any team in college football. And you saw what they did against Louisville in their championship game, man. But like you said, it's a travesty. Florida State fans have every right to be upset for doing, like you said, what they asked. We all said it's 13-0, and now the committee has given us their answer. Clearly, it's not. But we're going to bring my guy in a little bit in a minute to talk about it. But let's talk about who's here. we have these four: Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. All to all their credit, they've all been playing. We talked about Washington. So three of those four have been playing very well, but Washington is still undefeated. Pac-12 champs of last year, the Pac-12. This four, is everybody in here, is it rightfully so? Can we agree that these all deserve to be in this spot?
Yeah, they're all deserving playoff teams, and it's all teams that are hitting their stride at the right time, all playing very good football right now. And it's gonna make for a really, really good playoff, in my opinion. I see both these games being within a touchdown, like very close, and can go either way. So, as much as it sucks to see the Seminoles out, this set of four and the way it's set up is a very good playoff.
Chris, what's going on, Chris? Washington should be number one. They have the most ranked wins in the country, by far the best resume. Interesting.
To me, and I don't hate this take. I really don't. If you're looking at the resume, they should be number one. Yeah. But the fact is, they struggled with a lot of teams they should not have struggled with. And Michigan really only struggled with Maryland that they shouldn't have struggled with. Michigan being the more dominant team of the two throughout the entirety of the season is why they're one and Washington's two. And that's in my opinion.
Right. I mean, you can't overlook the Stanford game. You can't overlook I'll give you Arizona State. Like, you can't overlook some of these games where they did look bad. They were turning the ball over, and yes, they were undefeated, but they struggled in some of these matchups. So I don't think you can look at it. And to your point, Michigan, I know it's a sacrilegious in my household, but you're the best team. You're by far the best. You have beaten everybody with the issues in-house. Either you guys have it, your coach not there, the coordinators, the suspensions, everything like that. Let me ask you that real quick before we bring them in, because I do want your opinion. There are some people out there that are saying, not necessarily on the field, but how are we letting Michigan have a pass with all of this stuff that's going on? Now, let me preface it by saying a lot of those people are either from Ohio State or Michigan State, but still, what do you say to those people?
Well, I mean, fair, because you say that about any rival school that's got this going on. So it's all warranted, all that. But to me, my only thing is that investigation by the NCAA is still going on. Yep. So we don't know. Well, and the main thing is it's been verified. It's been a known fact now that Harbaugh had nothing to do with it, that the coordinators had nothing to do with it. Yeah. And the people that they've deemed that did have anything to do with it are already gone. So obviously they're still looking more into it, but until anything's proven to show that they shouldn't be in there, they should be in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris said, I will say this. I hope they lose to Bama just because I don't want to have to go through an entire debate later that they vacate 3 seasons of play. Well, we'll see all that one down there. Right. We'll see.
It'll be a 6-game suspension for Harbaugh or something next year. That's what it'll be, realistically. They're not going to vacate win. They're not going to do any of that.
I mean, have they given the Fab Five their wins back?
Nope.
Just saying, look, we're going to bring our guys in. They've been sitting in the background. Shout out to my guy and co-host of Washington Football Weekly, Mr. Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on?
How we doing, Will?
Oh, doing well.
Absolutely. And my guy, and Dallas Cowboys fan. It pains me to say that.
Why did you say that?
I got to. My guy, Mr. Jared. Oh, man. What up, Jared?
What's up, fellas? I'm wearing black because my team got killed yesterday. So that's why I'm wearing black. So it's a funeral, and I'm sad, and I'm here to mourn all on you guys today. This not good. This is a terrible day. Cowboys do make me smile, but we here to talk college ball. Right. When it's my turn, I'm ready to let it burn. like Usher. Right?
Oh yeah. Look, I only have a select amount of sympathy for you. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's we can deal with that on the sidebar, Sean. We're dealing with serious things right now. Okay, this is seriousness. Okay, this is deeper than Commando stuff. Okay, this is real. Okay, this is legitimate gripes we're talking about tonight. Okay, this.
Watch it out. We still Commanding stars over here. Watch it out. Still got the burgundy on.
I understand.
Will, I'm gonna come to you first. You look at this top four: Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Bama. What do you think about this when you first see it? Is this the four right teams in your opinion?
Love it. I do. From a competitive standpoint. Alex said it earlier. The only thing that these 14 playoffs have given us in the last decade, it seems like, are blowouts, are disappointments. Yeah. I can tell you when they first started with these playoffs, I actually had to work on New Year's Eve, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll take the later shift because the games weren't entertaining, and there was so much hype, and then they just never lived up to it. And these four teams, when they're playing right now, are going to be bringing in a whole lot of excitement. I mean, you got Michigan versus Alabama, you got Harbaugh versus Saban. It's at the Rose Bowl. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
I mean, they just hyped this up big time. You've got Washington coming in, who's the farewell for the Pac-12, and they're having a phenomenal season. Get past Oregon a second time, and then you've got Texas, who they're a brand, and their fans are obnoxious. So they're going to bring a lot of cash behind this too. So I'm real excited for it, for the teams that they brought in, because I think they're some of the four best teams playing right now. And as an outsider, I'm now looking forward to tuning in.
Oh yeah. And we should preface that by saying my guy is living in South Carolina, so his Gamecocks they've got Spencer Rattler.
They've been watching. No, not anymore. He's going pros. Don't have him.
Yeah, not to Washington. Yeah. But look, Jarrett, I'm coming to you, Jarrett, and we're going to talk about FSU. I got my guy, Misador, is in the comments. He's an FSU guy too, so he's going off himself. But when you look at these four teams right here, are you excited if you could take yourself out of the FSU, the fanhood? Are you excited about this what you see in these 4 games or 2 games?
Absolutely not, Sean. I'm sorry. There's no way I could say that to you and be like, yes. Part of me wants to say, the college football in me wants to see the best matchups. And right now, they set a precedent that just blew it all up, in my opinion. And you can call me a homer if you want to, but I just don't understand when 13-0, the Power 5. I mean, we walked like a duck, quacked like a duck, and they still called us a zebra.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We did everything that we were supposed to do. And since when did you not credit the team for finding a way to win?
Right.
Yeah. We played a freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
A third string. And let me give you some insight into the play calling, just for the style points, okay? So you can get into Coach Norvell's mind right quick. The freshman quarterback actually had some wheels. If he did a read option keeper 1 or 2 times, he would have been the one running down the lane for 50 yards, okay? But he never gave him the opportunity to keep it like that. Why? Because he can't get hurt.
Yep.
but then had the nerve to run the Wildcat. So if you're gonna run the Wildcat, then run it out. That's what's working anyway. So so we didn't, and we still beat them. We covered the spread.
Yeah.
And I'm coming at you, Big Blue. Y'all didn't score that many points against Iowa. Y'all didn't blow Iowa out.
26 nothing. 26 nothing.
I don't want to hear that, man. Okay, I don't want to hear it. I don't know.
We covered the spread and then some.
Man, y'all supposed to beat them 50-0. Okay, 50-0. That's what I. I'm throwing shots at everybody, and I really didn't say what I wanted to say about Big Blue. Okay, you cheated, and it's wrong. No. Hey, look, man. We look, man. I'm just a mild mannered Knowles fan. Okay, I'm not from Florida. I am not from that fan base. I just rock with them from the early '90s, from Charlie Ward on through. Yeah. But the real ones, you better watch your mouth. You better watch. You better. They're not watching. I don't even know how Mark Novell can get them amped up to play Georgia. If you're Keon Coleman, if you're Johnny Wilson, if you guys are not coming back next year, why are we playing?
Right.
What? And I don't want to hear about for pride. I don't want to hear like what. That. Yeah.
Because if you don't play well against Georgia, people are just going to say, see, we told you so. The committee got it right. If you play Georgia tough, now you've got an argument for people to remember that you got screwed.
Respectfully, remember for what? What they gonna say? You got screwed and you beat Georgia. Great. Georgia lost. And let me just be honest about this. Georgia's not as nice as the standard. Alabama's not meeting the standard. All of these teams that are in the top four could catch L's to Florida State with Rodemaker. And I said that. Listen, we had to make it to the dance. When you make it to the dance, there's a lot of different ways to get you. Okay, there's a lot of ways to get you, and we play defense. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to get you, and there's a lot that can happen. But as a passionate fan, it sucks. To be honest, this is the best four. And the only reason why I am not down there with Tallahassee trying to burn it down is because they have it in the clause literally that says if someone gets injured, they got the ability to make the matchups match up. Right. And when you and that was the only saving grace. That was their trump card. Is Travis breaking his leg. That was their woo, because then they really, I don't think they have anything to stand on if he's healthy and we're humming. But yeah, it's the best for sure. You know, but, and here's another thing. Next year, it don't even matter.
Yeah, because there's 12.
We can't. That's what really you can't be like. Well, for next year, you better reserve a spot for us. All I can say is just you rule the day. I'm gonna tell you right now, Florida State already runs the transfer portal on prime time type level before Prime got in there. People wanted to come there to transfer there. I'm personally hoping that he'll look at Gabriel and see if he can get him in there for 1 year, and we can run this back the same type of style. Him and Travis got the same type of style of play, and I wouldn't be surprised as much as this hurts that somebody in that building is saying, you know, we got to think about next year right now, and we need to make sure that we right back. And watch out. All I gotta say is watch out for us in the transfer portal. We number 5 in recruiting right now alone. So we will be back. And it's and hopefully it's but I guess here's a question for you guys, and then I'm done. Does this ruin their wanting to be a part of the SEC? Does this throw them into Notre Dame, I want to be independent type status? And I'm done.
Alex, what do you think?
I don't think independent, but I could see them, if they want out of the ACC, I could see them looking at the Big 10 or the Big 12 or one of those other conferences instead of the SEC, with them getting screwed by the SEC this time around. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
But then on the other side, I kind of look at it as like, if you can't beat them, join them. Right. You know what I mean? Because one SEC got bounced out for another SEC that hopped in. And to Jared's point, if Jordan Travis is playing, if he's healthy, even if he's a little nicked up, we're not even having this conversation because they're by far in there.
But then are we having this conversation about them not honoring the head-to-head and Alabama's in over Texas? Oh, I think we're still having this discussion just in a different scenario, to be honest with you.
Will, what do you think, man?
I think FSU should be joining the SEC. It just makes for geographical sense in getting all those rivalries and everything. And that just, if you're going to have super conferences, do it right. Bring FSU, bring Clemson. But I think what you also have to look at here is take ourselves away from being a fan and look at what the NCAA did. They brought in brands that are going to bring eyeballs on the game, and they're going to fill stadiums. And that's exactly what they're looking to do. You're bringing Texas, Michigan, Alabama. I mean, those are strong, loyal, historic fan bases, and they're going to sell out those stadiums. They're going to go. And if you're looking for people to watch, if they've got some skepticism over whether Florida State should be in there or not, they took that away, and and now people are looking at that Michigan-Alabama game as a marquee must-see TV. So you got to look at they care about the dollars. They don't care about right here.
Yeah.
They
made that very
well, right, and that's my point, and I think that's what a lot of other people are mad about. Is just that you've lived so long on 13-0 and win your conference championship and all these little prerequisites that are supposed to get you in, and then you have a situation, albeit this was a crazy situation because you had Georgia, who hasn't lost a game in almost 2 years, not so 2 years ago, the SEC championship, who has been playing like this, and then they finally get knocked out to a Bama team that has I don't want to say they've struggled. They struggled
early.
Well, right. They've had moments where they struggled early. Recently, they look really good. So I get that you would want to elevate them, and then you got the whole Texas and that stuff. It pains me for the guys, just like you were saying, Jared. It pains me for those guys on that field because they knew what was at stake. You can't tell me with the way that defense performed that they didn't know that they had to play above and beyond. And once you look at those defensive stats in that game, Louisville is not a slouch. Louisville's got a very high-powered pass
football team,
great running game, and a solid defense. And to your point, Jared, you came in there with a freshman. You came in there with a guy that was a little nicked up. And that defense, Trey Benson, your guys did their thing, man. So it's a travesty. It absolutely is. And I want to stay with another team that also got. We talked about Bama, Georgia, 12-1. Haven't lost in forever. I am 0 forever against picking them. Finally, I was right.
Until Saturday, yeah.
Until Saturday, I was right. They lose by 3. Jared, I'm gonna come back to you. Is this right? Bama beat them. They're no longer undefeated, and they were bounced out. Should they have been bounced out of the CFP?
So I'm gonna be real with you. The SEC, the way that they have it set up because of their prestige, their wins they mean more compared to other wins. And so what I mean by that is when you have their teams are higher ranked most of the time in the top 10, top 5. And so those are high risk, high reward wins. So if you lose, you're out. Like it's completely out. And sometimes depending on how you lose, if you get blown out, it can take you out that further. But when it's SEC and on SEC crime, you don't jump that far when you lose, right? You don't get bounced out when you lose. If they're both, let's say, you got 2 SEC teams and they're both in the top 5, and it's it's a close game like we had. The loser's only gonna fall out. Maybe they're gonna stay in the top 10, maybe still in the top 5. They're just gonna shuffle, and so this was prime for a coup for Alabama. Georgia had not been showing that they were the same dominant team that they were last year. They had chinks in the armor. They're working in the new starting quarterback. They had injuries. And I never really found their offensive game to be something that you need to be scared of if you can play some defense. You know what I mean? As far as creativity, like they'll mash you, right? They'll hit you in the mouth, and they lost 19. They lost 19 for a while too, but and I still don't think he's healthy, even though that he's back. But they could be had. Period. The whole SEC as a whole could be had. As a matter of fact, the best conference was the Pac-12. The Pac-12, surprisingly, from top to bottom. So the whole SEC could have been had, and so it was just set up right for Alabama if they could knock off Georgia. the end result is you got to win. Even if Alabama played them close, I'm just convinced they would have found a way to try to get a two-loss Alabama team in there somehow, some way, somehow. Let's say Texas loses, right? And I know that they'll try to run the head-to-head, but then even then they would try to still be like, well, it's how they lost because, then Texas would have lost to Oklahoma State. Georgia would have lost. Alabama lost to Georgia and how competitive. All I know is that Georgia lost, and this is what happens when you're the top dog, man. You can't lose at all. Your margin of error, especially when you carry it all the way to the end. You got to get your L early, and everybody knows that. You got to get your L within the first 4 or 5 weeks, then go on a run and make it to the championship game, and then hopefully whoever's in there is number one or can be number one, and then that way you can knock them off to catapult yourself, man. But Georgia lost. They knew the stakes when they got there. You heard Kirby trying to hype them up at the end, talking about they're one of the best. And that's the thing. That's when I knew the fix was in. Nobody was talking about, well, we're undefeated. We got a blemish and we'll see what happens. No, we're still the best. If you can't look at us and see that we're one of the best teams, even though we just caught an L, I don't see how that works. Everybody they started throwing that best team language out as soon as the game was over. I knew the fix was in. I knew it was coming. As soon as they started throwing the best teams. When did 13-0 mean you was not the best team when you were Power 5? I understand if you play the Conference USA or you James Madison or you Liberty. Liberty is over there, okay? That respectfully. Let's go, Liberty. Respectfully, okay? They are over there. You know what I'm saying? I have Florida State got a right to be like, we one of y'all. How y'all gonna do this to us? We one of y'all. Yeah. We one of y'all. We one of y'all. How y'all gonna do this to us? I know we gonna get in. And they were like, well, the main one, the Beyonce of the college teams came through. So you gonna have to. Sorry about that. We're going. sorry about that. We're gonna just we go to Beyonce came through. You're great. You did everything that you did. So we got a prime Beyonce right now doing her thing. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're gonna. I'm sorry. We'll just
circling back.
Make this move.
No, I don't know if you guys saw ESPN during the selection show on Saturday and ESPN, like Herb Street and them from the full week before. But going into Saturday, or before Sunday, Herb Street's backdrop was the 4 playoff team helmets. And before it got announced on Sunday, he had swapped that Florida State helmet for the Alabama helmet. Had it in the exact order 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I didn't.
Did ESPN know ahead of time?
I saw the helmet behind him, but I didn't connect any of those dots.
Yeah.
No, he's absolutely right, man. He's absolutely right. There was nothing Florida State could do after that Florida game. I would imagine they already made up their mind. They didn't even think we were going to go undefeated, to be honest. Right. And when we did, they were like, well, we already made up our mind. If Alabama does their thing, we already have that mechanism in place. Those scenarios are worked out well in advance. Trust.
They knew, right? They played that out. And so, Will, I'm going to come to you as a member of the SEC.
Sure.
You've been in Saban country. You know what kind of pull he has. And to Jared's point, Georgia, we've all talked about it this year. Georgia's not the same team that has been just dominating teams the last 2 years. They look like they could be had, like Jared was saying. So how much of this is, hey, Saban, if you just get in the door, we'll make sure everything's good. We'll leave a light on for you. We'll make sure if you give us a reason, we'll put you in there. How much of this is Saban's folklore?
I mean, a little bit, but it's also just Georgia has the least argument of anybody here. You didn't win your conference. It really, it's a tough pill to swallow that you lose the conference championship game. You went undefeated in your regular season and you lose by 3 and that's it and you're out. But when we're comparing things and you're trying to look at, who's going to be that last team, conference championships do have to matter in the final, conversations. And so they're out. So it's tough to go 12-1 and be out of the chance to defend your crown. But they also knew that coming in. One loss was all it was going to take, especially as they kept winning these games. And it's like all it takes is one, and they timing is everything, like Jared said, and they lost at the end, and that was it.
Well, it's the same thing I was saying with Michigan a couple weeks ago. With Georgia and Michigan's lower strength of schedule, they had to win out to get in.
Right.
The second Georgia lost, I knew, it was clear they're out, they're gone. The fact that Alabama, Texas, some of these other schools were up in the top 30 of strength of schedule, that's where that argument could happen.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks to see 13-0 doesn't matter.
Right. But again, you look at that strength of schedule, and ESPN put this on there before they announced 4 and 5. Alabama has the 5th ranked strength of schedule. Florida State has 55.
Yeah.
And now you're comparing conference champions.
Yep.
Oh, okay, but again, one of those conference champions lost. Am I like in that scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that used.
Home.
And they lost at home, and that used to mean that you was out. That's how that used to go. But the rules, they moved the whole college football field, not the goalpost. They moved the whole field over. Okay, normally you move the goalpost, right? It's like, oh no, it's a penalty. Move it back a couple years. They moved the whole field. They say, oh no, we're not playing over there. We're playing at Jordan Hare. We're not playing at Doak. We're playing over here. I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, when you get 13 wins, we Power 5. Look, this is all you need to know. Were you Power 5? Yes. Did you go undefeated? Yes. Okay, then your ticket is punched against someone. Okay, are you Power 5? Yes. Did you lose? Yes, I did. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. But then all of a sudden, when it's Alabama, it was like, who did you lose? Who did you lose to? I mean, who did you lose to? Really? I mean, Texas at home. You lost to Texas at home. And you barely beat Auburn at the last second. That's okay. You guys were dominant. You guys were dominant that game. Y'all dominated.
One incomplete pass away from it not being.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean,
now hold the phone.
Really well.
Hold the phone, because I on this show, whenever we have these shows, I give people the opportunity to defend their team. We're talking about great King Saban, but there is another side to this. 30 games, only one loss, and that was this last game. Got to shout out our guy, Mr. Anthony Handy. Handy,
What's
man.
going on, Anthony?
How the hell are y'all? How the hell are y'all doing? How the hell are y'all doing? I heard you. I didn't even hear what you was talking about. I was on a phone call, but I could feel my ears ringing. That's an appeal. Nobody been talking about.
Hey, Handy, you see what it is, man. You know what it is. You knew what was in front of you going into that game. You guys could not be stopped for the last 2 years and all of this season. You go up against Alabama. We saw what happened. And then you guys get bounced out. What is your thoughts about you guys getting bounced out? You saw the top 4. What do you think about how things went?
I think we deserved it. That's my 2 cents. That is my 2 cents. Now, I will say this. I am very proud as a fan. I am very proud of the accomplishments this team has had over the course of the last 3 seasons. Well, actually, Kirby has done great things since he took the program over, being able to take them to the next level. Because Mark Richt was a very good coach. He just couldn't get them over the hump. So, but I remember the lean years between Vince Dooley and Mark Richt. So this is an incredible feeling to be able to walk around with the G on, and people be like, all right, go Dogs. Hey, go Dogs. You know what I'm saying? So it's when you get to the point where you walk in the building and people see you have the G on and they go, oh, here come this cat here. They think they're somebody, like they do Bama fans, because Nick Saban done won all the championships in the world for the last 15 years. You know you're doing something. When you get to the point where people hate your team, you know you're doing something. But this game, they were not prepared. They were not ready. If you've seen the show with me and Colin, we said it over and over again. There are mistakes. We're glad we won, but they got to clean up these mistakes. And every single one of the mistakes that they have made as a team from September before Saturday came back to bite them in the butt. As a matter of fact, I said yesterday they should have let Alabama score first, and maybe they would have won. They messed up. They messed up the
Yeah.
formula. They messed
Get
up.
angry.
They messed up the juju just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and to your point, like you and I have talked for the last several years. You and I first started talking the first run, the first year of your run as you guys do it. And in that year, you came to this game undefeated, unfortunately lost, but you got the opportunity to get back in there. Like you said, you guys have been the best. How does Coach Smart get these guys motivated to go play FSU now?
You ask me this like I'm in the locker room. I don't know. He probably give one of them Kirby Smart speeches like the one that somebody snuck and recorded a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the big thing is they had to be focused. I had to be completely honest. The analogy that I use for Georgia in this season. Do you remember the second Matrix when they get started with them having the meeting, and they're having the meeting of the council, and the Sentinels were on the rise, and the freaking whatchamacallit showed up, and Neo started fighting them, and he was like, upgrades, but he's fighting them with one arm. That's kind of how I view Georgia playing this season. It's like they just was fighting everybody off with one arm.
Yeah.
Like, even though there was a couple of games that got to the point where I was like, we might lose this one, they managed to pull it out in the end. Like with Missouri, especially because, oh my God, between the quarterback and Schrader, I just knew that one was a loss. They pulled that one off. But then it got to the point where Neo is in the final Matrix, is fighting Agent Smith, and Agent Smith is just whopping him. And that's just basically what it boiled down to. Our offense showed up for 3 sequences the entire game. The first one and the last 2 touchdowns. The rest of the game, they were almost non-existent. I mean, Milton ran for almost 160 yards a week ago against Tech. Yes, it was Georgia Tech. I understand that. But that's probably the best performance he put on in a while. They didn't shut him down, but he was not dominant. Dejon couldn't do anything. I mean, if anything, I think Kirby knew that there was a big possibility they would lose the game, and here's how. There's no way in hell that Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey should have been out there limping around on that field.
The biggest game?
The biggest game. I
mean, because Pickens came back after he got hurt that year and played in that game.
But Pickens had plenty of time to recover. Brock and Ladd pretty much played all but the Georgia Tech game. Both of them were dinged up, and you could see every play they went out, they were hurt, and they were limping back to the sideline. I give them their credit for having the eye of the tiger, the heart of a champion, blah, blah, blah. Insert the analogy here for a tough guy. They are both very tough young men, and they have done wonderful things for the Bulldog program. But there's no way in hell, if Kirby was playing them knowing how they were hurt and knowing that you can't stop me from you won't be able to keep me off the field. Yes, you can. Coach would be like, go sit your little down on the bench because we're not messing up your future. We're not gonna hurt you. That, and if we win this game without you, we still got a playoff game we got to play. And if we win that game, we got a championship game we got to play. So go sit down. He tried
with 30 days in between. I don't know.
With 30 days in between, like if they had put it like this. I think Kirby knew that there was a strong possibility they could lose the game. That's, I think, why he acquiesced to letting them on the field like it was going to light some spark for the rest of the team. I will say this, the defense of the 2 units, the 3 units, offense, defense, special teams, I think the defense had the strongest performance because they at least kept the game close enough that Georgia was still within striking distance. And I said this yesterday too, the offense showed up late to the game like Lauryn Hill in one of her own concerts.
And they've had
Now,
those problems early. We've seen that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
you guys see that the video conference call hyping up all the bowl games for Georgia, Florida State, and it was Kirby and Mike Norvell.
and both of them looked like they wanted to cuss the moderator out. Like, why the hell?
Norvell was hot.
How did they get them to do that?
right.
I mean,
Probably.
Well, they have to. They have
obligations. It's in their contract. Yeah.
They gave him the cash right before that segment. That's what they would have to do for me. They'd have to give me that bonus right then and there. So here's the game check right here.
Yeah.
If you look at Norvell and the whole thing, he's kind of looking off to the side and down. Like he's like,
now,
not trying to do this.
Wait a minute.
And Kirby's looking off to the side too. They're both like, man, I don't want to do this.
Kirby looked like he was handling well though. He looked like he could handle it a little bit better than Mike. I mean, because Kirby know they call L's. Like he know that they genuinely lost. He didn't get robbed. They got beat. You know what I'm saying? You can get over that.
He also got those 2 rings he could sit on for last.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He can get over that.
And the second highest paid, third highest paid coach in FBS.
Yeah,
Jimbo, with Nick and Jim. Well, not Jimbo anymore, but so yeah, he could sit on that. But wait a minute, that wasn't the call. Did y'all see the one where they were talking to Drinkwich and he said, "Hey y'all, my phone is ringing. It's Stallions is calling me. I got to take this call."
It was so good. It was so
good.
He's scouting. Look, yo, let's go into these New Year's 6 games. Let's talk about this. Obviously, the Goodyear, the Cotton Bowl, Missouri, Ohio State, Peach Bowl, Ole Miss, Penn State. Obviously, y'all's game, Orange Bowl, Georgia, and Florida State. The Fiesta Bowl, Oregon playing Liberty. Loving that. Looking forward to that. Then the Rose Bowl, Alabama and Michigan, and the Sugar Bowl, Texas and Washington. Hey, I'm gonna throw it out there to you guys. What's what game are you hyped about? I want to see this Missouri Ohio State game. I've been loving Missouri all year long. We know that running game is tough. Brady Cook has been starting to come into his own, still struggles at times. But that Missouri team, we saw their defense, what they've able to do against Georgia. I really want to see this. And then you got an Ohio State team that was and has been for the last, maybe not last year, but 2 years ago, like outside looking in, coming off the loss to Michigan. And it's like, what do you play for? McCord, he's going to be gone. Marvin Harrison Jr. is already talking, not talking to NFL teams, but already lining up where he's going to get drafted. This game, I want to see who's going to play and if these guys can get themselves fired up for that. So what game are y'all looking at?
I'm definitely feeling that Missouri game. Sean, you and I have been talking now for about 2-3 years about college football. And of all the teams in the SEC outside of Alabama, what team did I consistently told you? I consistently told you for some reason, even though we've still beaten them, has managed to get up for that game, if none other, is Missouri. I mean, and we're going back to when Drew Lock was still there. Drew Lock was slinging the ball around the field against us and everything. I want to see this game. I want to see what Missouri brings to the table against an Ohio State team that, I mean, assuming all of the starting players play.
Quarterback's out.
Yeah, he's in the transfer portal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brock Vandegrift. I hate that we're not going to get a chance to see him play. I wanted to see what he was going to do under center at Georgia, but we're assuming that Beck is coming back, so there's that. But I want to see what this Missouri team can do, because Drink is going to get them fired up.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm not. I'm not that excited about that game just because of the whole. I don't know who's going to be playing and how many. Ohio lost like half their team today in the transfer portal. Yeah, so I don't. One of the things I get frustrated with these bowl games, is who's going to be playing in the games. What guys are going pros versus. And also it comes down to like who's really hyped about this. Mizzou has a whole lot more at stake in that game and making a statement than Ohio State does. So that's where it's kind of like On paper, yeah, going into it, yes. But by the time we reach, that time, is it really going to? I'm looking forward to Penn State and Ole Miss.
Yes,
I feel like they've got
that's my
enough
big one.
young enough players that are coming back. They've got something to play for. Franklin's got a great program going there. Lane Kiffin's really done some things at Ole Miss. I actually did not realize that his only 2 losses were Georgia and Bama. Like, that's a hell of a season.
Hell of a resume
by Lane Kiffin. I mean, he is turning something in at Ole Miss year in and year out. So I think besides the 2 playoff games, that is the bowl game of the year for me.
Well, Will, can I offer you a counterpoint?
Absolutely.
I know that has now become it's almost as certain as death and taxes that players are going to opt out of bowl games. The way I look at it is, whose coming out party is it going to be? What kid are we going to see shine that we didn't get to see because the starters were getting all the limelight all season? Because a lot of times those guys shine in those bowl games and they wind up getting, coming into next season. I go, okay, that's somebody I want to keep an eye on for next season. That's kind of the way I've had to learn and look at it.
Sure.
It used to really piss me off. I go, what do you mean so-and-so's not playing? Oh, man, okay. But now I've had to learn to look at it that way.
To that point, and the reason why I don't do sports betting on college games, North Carolina played Washington probably 10, 15 years ago. And I was ready. I was like, oh, I'm going to kill these guys. I'm going to destroy them. And I've started both quarterbacks. Washington's quarterback decided he wasn't going to play. So they just ran Wildcat all game. The running back goes for like 300 some odd yards. I lost a lot of money. Long story short, you can't. Yeah, you hate it. You hate to see it. But then on the flip side, I don't know if you guys have seen, but this year, a lot more of these guys that are, top tier talent, potential, future pros are playing. Bo Nix said he's going to play.
Bo Nix is playing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
He might as well. He might as well play. He's been there forever. He might as well play. Why he not gonna play now? He been playing for 16 years, man. He might as well play. And plus, that's another way for him to boost his draft stock. He not fooling nobody. He know he left it on the. He didn't look good against Washington, not at all. He didn't look good against quality teams that had quality defenses. And I maybe I'm not sounding like the biggest Bo Nix fan, and that is true because I'm not. But I'm not excited to watch none of these games. I'm a Knowles fan, and you know that. Kirby gonna get them boys to play because he didn't pay them that NIL money. So they gonna play. That's how that gonna roll. You don't get it going like you getting it going. And look, because they gonna be some players away, man. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out, coach. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take your mom's car. All right, get back in. You better get back in that game, okay? Y'all gonna play. He gonna meet them at the front door. Practices at 6. Then we gonna destroy Florida State. We gonna now Florida State. They got some serious. Jared Verse, I wouldn't be mad if he didn't play. Keon Coleman, go ahead. See you on Sundays. Benson, anybody who want to jump out there to the next level, because for what? If you're not coming back next year. This is just only this year. This is the only circle. I'm with Handy, man. I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it when guys sat it out because it's my team. You know what I'm saying? You get out there and you play. You know what I'm saying? But then what was the linebacker who ended up playing for the Cowboys? Tore his knee up, and then I changed on that one. Jalen Smith. He tore his knee up. You know what I mean? And it wasn't for the championship. You know what I mean? You if you're not in the playoff. There's only 25 teams that should be having playoff aspirations, and that isn't by coincidence. That's the ranking number. You know what I mean? Everybody else, when you get to a bowl game, it's like, yeah, of course we want to go bowling. Sure, we'll go to the .com bowl. Brought to you by Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? We'll take that on. Cool. We'll get to take a trip. We'll get some money. Yeah, but when you're a blue chipper or want to be blue chipper, a purple chipper, You know what I'm saying? Whatever. When you're not in there, you got people making business decisions. What are we gonna go all out for so we can take a bag of peanuts for the Valero Bowl? You know what I'm saying?
Right. But look, to that point though. To that point.
Don't play.
Next
They play that.
year-
No, wait, hold on, Sean. Don't play on that. Don't sleep on that Valero Bowl, man. I heard they're playing on the campus at Buck Tussle State this year.
Stadium be parse. You feel me? Be nothing but family and friends with the cowbells. You did a great job. We did a great job. This man Mobile is so nice. This is such a great place to travel and go to watch a football game. No, that's booty, man.
Still holding up signs that they wrote like they still playing high school ball.
To that point. But to that point, this is realistically, this is the last year that is something that maybe we're gonna have to worry about. Once you get to that 12-team tournament, now you have teams, all top-tier teams that we're gonna play their guys because of the shot to get to the national championship.
Sean, let me hit the shedding shot. Next year, when it's 12 teams, you ain't gonna be able to keep the nose out, baby. And we coming for heads. We right now. And look, no one will care about the 13th team who didn't get in. Because they will have a whole bunch of warts. They will have a whole. Get out of here! You guys had 6 losses. Right. Okay, we don't want to hear that. We got the best 12. Let's lay somebody. My thing is how they gonna do the bowl games with the playoffs. You know, not everything can be a bowl game, right?
First round matchups are actually home games next year.
Yup.
Oh.
We don't.
He didn't like the sound of that, I guess. Yeah.
Wait. But repeat that, Alex. So they actually are going to play games on campus?
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, and 4 get buys.
Okay.
And then the 5 versus 12, 6, 11, 7, 10, 9, and 8 are all home games for those higher seeds.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
That's so cool.
All right, North Carolina, all we got to do is make it to 12. Let's go, guys.
Yeah. There you go.
Tar Heel Nation. We don't know where Jared went, but we're going to try to get him back on here.
Went to Jared, duh.
You went to Jared's.
There we go.
Jared, did you not like that answer?
Hey, look, my phone overheated me. I don't know what happened. Technical difficulties, man. It got hot. It got hot in here, man.
Call Jerry Jones. Ain't Jerry going to set you up? Talk to your boy Jerry.
Oh, Sean, come on, buddy. I didn't bother you and Will at all this year. I didn't do nothing. Okay, I was respectful. I didn't do nothing to you, Sean. And you got the nerve.
The games are over. Now that you
right. You got the nerve to bring up my owner of my team.
We're looking at 2024. Look, Jerry, I got to move on.
Ben's comment is so good.
Into the transfer portal.
See what happens. See what happens, Stephen A. That's what happened when you get that T-Mobile internet. You know what I mean?
Oh, he said I hit the transfer portal.
That's so good.
Craziness, man. I love it. Yo, hey, there it is. The New Year's 6 bowl games are set. There's also a number of other games that we alluded to that will be coming out. My Tar Heels are playing West Virginia, and then Duke Mayo Bowl. The winner gets doused with mayonnaise. My guy over here, Mr. Will Craner, he knows Beamer got doused with some mayonnaise a couple years back in that win, or our loss in that game. So, yeah, we'll definitely be talking about those games a little bit later.
Somebody wins against mayonnaise on them?
I can't get past the feeling that whoever created that tradition might have a secret room in their house that they don't want nobody to know.
You feel me? That's a lose-lose.
That sounds very 50 Shades of Grey. Always worth it. The Weekend in the background singing worth it. Nah,
But look, Will and I went to the season opener, and it was at that place. And Will, they had, like, in between the commercial breaks, they had like mayo stacking competitions and like mayo eating competitions.
Oh,
It was
They had
the
this
Duke's
one
Mayo
dude-
Kickoff
Oh.
Classic.
Yeah, they had this one dude that was like, "I'm not doing this," and his other guy was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
man.
nasty. Yeah.
"Oh,
something wrong with that guy.
You only need a toothpaste margin size of mayonnaise on anything. You don't need a dollop or nothing. You just need
Yeah.
that right there. I would skip that. I'd skip the mayonnaise shower. I'd just take the trophy and bounce. They'd have to find me.
We lost on purpose." All right.
Yeah, you feel me? We tied. Let him go first.
As the representative from the great state of Georgia, I would like to put a motion on the table, Mr. Spencer, that you don't ever pantomime eating mayonnaise on the show ever again. That is a good look, my friend. That is a good look, my guy.
I'm gonna edit that one out. All right. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting close to the end of this thing. So
He said, Anthony that got warmed up. It's time to finish the show.
Hey, you knew what time we started. I called you up earlier, but you had stuff you had to do. I understand.
It was disgusting because it was mayonnaise pantomiming. Not cereal. Like you were.
Look, at the game that we went to, I mean, obviously there's a bunch of drunk people, and they had some of them them South Carolina fans that had the tube that you squirt down to put on your hot dog and everything, and they had it up in the stands just like kind of going up.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to demonstrate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, agreed.
You could have just said it, and I would have understood it and gotten it. He didn't have to.
I'm leaving it alone.
And Andy told you about the pantomime now. He told you.
Yo, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we still got one more segment, but I'm going to let my guys go. Mr. Florida State and Mr. Dallas Cowboy, our guy, Mr. Jared Harmon. Jared, tell the people where they can find you. Tell them about your music and all the stuff you got going on.
Hey, first of all, I appreciate you fellas letting me release my pain on here by my boys, by my nose. You can find me at JEYREDD at IG, Mixcloud, Twitter. As a matter of fact, I got a Christmas mixtape. If you guys want it, it's free. It get you in the holiday spirits. Got a lot of different mixes. So if you guys want to go ahead and get that, I can go ahead and leave my information in the chat. You want to leave your email, I can go ahead and shoot that to you guys. But I appreciate you fellas, man, and let's not make it too long before we do it again.
Oh, absolutely. We got a lot of these nonsense bowls to talk about. So, man, come on here.
Yeah, I love to talk transfer portal with you guys, man. So you guys let me know when you guys start talking that up, man.
Absolutely.
All right, yeah, definitely. Keep your phone ready. We'll get you back on here. All right, man.
All right, buddy.
My man.
Later.
Peace back. Yeah, buddy. Hey, and our guy Anthony Handy, the Georgia Bulldogs. Now you're not going on tonight because I know Colin's working, but you're going on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's got his kid. When we're going on Wednesday night, and those of you listen, we coming. Okay, I'm telling you like Dion, we coming. But I know you all are very interested to hear what Colin and I have to say about how things went. Yeah. We also have a lot to say about the CFP. I know you guys kind of were talking about it in my absence, and I'm sorry I had to miss, but I had to take the phone call. But but yeah, we're gonna have a lot to say about that game. Listen, Sean, you know how I do when we do the show. I actually have the book is in the other room. I sat down yesterday and I wrote notes, lots of notes. I had thoughts that was running through my head. I was in the car. Listen, I know I tried to. I know I put a calm face on for when I put my little video up and I said my little piece. But I had a lot going on in my head. Like, what the hell was they thinking doing when they run and they've been stacking the box against the run? And what the hell were they thinking? Where was Carson Beck throwing that ball? And I had all these thoughts running through my head. So I came in.
This is only the second time. This will only be the second time I've ever heard you talk about a loss. You realize that, right?
I'm aware.
That is wild.
Never had to talk about a loss except for the Bama game.
But understand, this is not like a loss in week 1 where we had 11 weeks to get by. This was a loss this was the loss that the winner got the key to go to the playoff. and potentially
Yeah.
win another.
Yeah.
This was a shot. Now, this was a shot at making history. Now, we've already made some history in the SEC, but I don't mind. Let me make sure that you all understand this. I don't mind that they lost because we were bound to lose at some point. Nobody wins and never loses forever. Okay. Now, I'm just mad at how bad they looked losing. That's what's on my brain. They did not look. Listen, it did not look good. It was like Kevin Hart say, we didn't look good as a family unit. So that's where I am with this. And I took notes and I had thoughts running through I took notes about the game. I took notes about the CFP. So yeah, this show is going to be a lot less disjointed than it normally is. I don't have that. I don't have the Sean Spencer, Will Crane. I don't have you, the three. If I had the brain of any one of the three of you, then I could be a lot better at speaking extemporaneously about the that's your $375 5-syllable, 6-syllable SAT word for the day. For those of y'all hip hop heads going, yo, fam, what'd he say? That mean off the dome, cuz off the dome. It's just fresh off the dome. I'm not as good at talking about it like that off the dome, but I got notes, and this one is going to be. I'm going to try and keep all my thoughts real together because I have a feeling that Colin is going to come with an opposing point of view with regard to some things that took place in the game. So this may be. Y'all make sure you tune in.
Yes. Yeah, he said you guys are going to clash a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gonna clash just a little bit. We still good. You know, side note, I got a chance to meet his parents, and they are two of the coolest people you ever want to meet. She brought me some bowl cozies. She made herself some University of Georgia bowl cozies. We went and had breakfast in a spot around the corner from the house. They're just as cool as they want to be. I call them my Dukes and Pop.
I can dig it. My guy, Anthony. Yo, we will definitely be watching you on Wednesday, my guy. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Hashtag no more Panama.
No, here we go. Edit it out. All right. Yes, sir. And my guy, Mr. Candidate, and for Dad of the Year, and my co-host on Washington Football Weekly, Will Kramer. Appreciate you being on here, guy.
Always fun. I've enjoyed listening to the show all year long. It's kind of nice to not have much of a dog in this fight, so I can take back and just enjoy everything. But no, y'all do a great job. Keep it up.
My guy, appreciate you coming on, man.
All right.
And we will talk soon, man.
Sounds good. See y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Look, we do have one more thing that we have to do. Definitely want to do it. We've done it after every game this season. And if you haven't seen, we've been doing our game balls. Go back and check on my YouTube channel. I'll definitely share those game balls from week 0 all the way to here. And we're going to do our bowl game balls as well. Let's go into it. Week 14, conference championship game balls. Alex, who was your first game ball?
So for me, I went both game balls in the group of 5 conference championship games. I'm going to start off with the one on Friday night, Liberty taking care of business against New Mexico State, and that Liberty quarterback, Caden Salter, 20 of 25, so 5 incompletions. 319 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, but then he's also the leading rusher with 12 carries for 165 yards and another touchdown. So that's almost 500 yards of total offense and 3 touchdowns for Caden Salter.
Good God, let's go. Liberty's QB, okay. All right.
Him against Bo Nix.
Hey, I love that. I love that.
Liberty's going to get slaughtered, but that'll be fun.
I love that Bo's playing. Hey, I'm gonna hold out, man. I might have to give me some Liberty merch. I got a cousin, Kat's niece's boyfriend goes to Liberty. I'm gonna see if I can't get some Liberty merch.
Okay,
I want to rock it, man. I want to see. I'm not gonna tell Alec this, but maybe upset. I don't know. We'll see. It depends.
Don't
how
tell
many
quack
people
quack
play.
in the morning.
I've learned my lesson last year. Yo, my first game ball. Is somebody that is in. If you watch the Saturday show, somebody that I've been eager to talk about since he first transferred to Texas. Quinn Ewers in a game that we thought was going to be a lot closer than it was, but Texas handled business, and I mean they blew it out the water, and it was a rout from the beginning. But this guy had 35 of 46, 452 yards and 4 TD passes in the biggest game, and a game where he knew his performance and what the performance of his team could potentially catapult them into the CFP like it did. I thought on the biggest stage he played huge, and I really love that, and I love how good he has progressed, and especially if we talked about it, if he comes back next year,
which it's sounding very heavily like he is.
Oh yeah. And another reason I wanted to come back, because I'm here for all of the drama of Arch Manning transferring and going to all these different places. I want to see where he goes. I think that's gonna be dope. Yo, who is your second game ball, Alex?
So my second one, I went to the Sun Belt Championship game. Troy beating App State 49-23, handling their business. A major reason why is the running back Kamari Vidal, 26 carries, 233 yards,
Oof.
5 touchdowns. 5. He
Yeah.
outscored App State by himself.
Yeah.
By double digits. Monster game for Vidal. Monster game for Troy. They handled their business, and he was the main reason why.
Wow. Yo, shout out to Troy. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finished 11-2.
This NCAA 14? Are we playing?
Yeah, right.
I was about to say, I've done that in my franchise with Troy before, but I've never seen it right here. Wow. Oh man. All right. I can dig it. I love that. Yo, and my last one for championship weekend, it is a team that we talked about, a team that has gotten slighted. Florida State fans are up in arms about it. And one of the reasons is because that defense is elite. That defense is top tier. In this game, they had 7 sacks. They had 14 tackles for loss. I mean, they knew they had to show up. They knew they had to shut down a very good Louisville offense, and they did. They held them to 6 points. Brandon Fiske had 3 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss. Jared Verse added a couple sacks into that mix. I mean, you had, I think, 5 or 6 guys total that at least had some part of a sack, if it was a half sack or a full sack. I mean, the defense showed up. They all played well together, and they totally locked down, like I said, a really good Louisville team. So, hey, Florida State's defense as a whole gets my championship weekend game ball, because honestly, in my opinion, I think with how good that defense did, they did enough to give them that consideration to be in there. I understand why the committee took them out, but with how that defense played, they stepped up to the challenge. The running backs, the position, they stepped up to the challenge, but we know why they weren't in there. So we'll see, man. We'll go down and see how they play out in these bowl games. Zagna said you were embarrassed, Oklahoma State. Oh yeah. I might buy a console.
There's another one. Hey, come on, let's go.
Come on.
We're trying to get an LTF. We're trying to get an LTF dynasty going on the new NCAA game. So the more the merrier. Come on, Anthony. Let's
do it. Let's do it. Bring your Georgia. I'll bring Carolina. Oh man.
We'll move all the teams into one conference and just let them go.
Yes. Let's go. Yes. I'm all about it. I am all about it. So hey, that is it for us. We are going to go ahead and let you guys go. We appreciate you guys being here with us on Monday. And the reason being, Tuesday, I will not be here. Kat and I are going out to holiday things like a musical, something like that. It's all good. It's all good. It is what it is. But I appreciate my guy for being available so we can hop on this show. And I appreciate all of our guys. Jared hopped on here. It was hilarious, man. Definitely going to bring him back for the transfer portal. Anthony Handy, you could find him with Colin P on This Week in UGA Football. Normally on Mondays. This week will be on Wednesday. And my guy, Will Kramer, who you will find him and I on Wednesday night, Washington Football Weekly at 8 p.m. Will not be there this week. And if you saw the game on Sunday, you understand. That's not the reason why, but you understand. You get it. Now, for a show to talk about a good team, my guy Alex Loosemore. Yo, when is Storing the Roar coming back, man?
I'm gonna plan to do it Wednesday because I was thinking about doing it as a pregame show, and I didn't want to do it that early in the morning. So Wednesday night, I'll be back Wednesday night.
There we go. I can dig it. So definitely tune in to him on Wednesday night. Man, hey, we got a bunch of stuff, man. If you love talking football, good, so do we. So tune in because we are all ears and all ready to talk, man. So look, for my guy, Mr. Alex Loosemore, it's your boy, Sean Spencer. Welcome to College Football Update. We'll see y'all next week. Stay tuned. Hey, this week coming up, Army, Navy, both 5
on
and 6.
Saturday.
Yeah, they need the win to get in. So stay tuned. We'll talk that, and we'll talk a little bit of Heisman talk and that transfer portal because, like Jared said, woo, that thing is just a revolving door, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, hey, we're out of here, people. We'll see y'all. Have a good rest of your Monday, and take care.
College Football Update with your host, Sean Spencer. Hey.